We are still following developing news. A truck has plowed into a crowd of people in Stockholm, Sweden.
We have a eyewitness who was actually on the scene who witnessed what happened. Let's bring him in. He's on the phone. His name is Emanuel Alvarez. Emanuel, you work right there in Stockholm. Tell us what you saw and what you heard.
Yes, I was in a work meeting with a colleague at the ground floor of our office building, and we're having coffee at the coffee shop when we saw a lot of police and police cars coming and gathering outside on the street. And then the coffee shop owner closed down the place and told us to leave the area. So we went back to our office that's located on the top of the building. And the police have now gated the whole area, so we can't actually leave the office. So we're going to stay here until the police have marked it safe.
Emmanuel, give us an idea of what this area is like. How busy is it at this time of day?
I would say that this area is very busy at this time because it's very close to the Stockholm Central train station and also the central station for the subway. This area is a business area with a lot of offices that are very busy during the daytime. And since now it's Friday afternoon and many people are leaving for the weekend and going out on the bars and restaurants and so on. So it's very crowded at this specific time of the week.
So, Emanuel, did you actually see the truck barreling into that shopping center?
No, I did not see the truck go into the shopping center, but I've seen the fire truck and the smoke from the shopping center where the truck went in.
Did you hear it crash into the building? And I'm just trying to gauge whether it was a very loud explosion, because the Sky News, our partners, mentioned that that there was a fireball. So I'm just trying to get a sense of how loud it was. Did it draw your attention?
We did not hear it, but we did because we was inside. But we heard a lot of people that was screaming and running, and a lot of police cars. So it was all chaos. Yes, and then we also smelled the smoke from the fire. But I think it's now that they have the fire under control. But there is still a lot of police running around here and making the area safe.
And Emmanuel, as I understand it, this is not too far from where the bombings were in 2010, bombings that were terrorist attacks as well, or at least they were terrorist attacks. We don't know what this was.
Actually, yes, I know about that. Yes, it's almost it's on the same street as it happened in a few years ago. So yes, the same location, and the Drottninggatan, that's like the main shopping street in Stockholm. So it's very crowded, and a lot of people who go there, many tourists. It's a main walking area, you can say, where many people go all the time. So it's always very crowded. So so that's a very sensitive area to be in this kind of situation.
Emmanuel, what's its security like in this area? You know, every time something like this happens, often security is beefed up. Vlad, my partner here, was in Paris shortly after the attacks there, in Brussels shortly after the attacks there, and there is a definite shift in those cities now in terms of the level of security. But, you know, Stockholm is not a place that we associate with terrorism. We don't know if this was a terrorist attack, but it's certainly being investigated in that way, and your prime minister certainly seems to think that there's a good possibility that it is. But in this area that's very busy during the day, what is the level of security like?
Actually, it used to be some police and And some security, after the last attack a few years ago, I've been working in an area for many years, and I've seen an increase in the amount of polices, and I also pulled up like small roadblocks and stuff, so you can't really drive a car through the streets and some way. And also the subway station that's very close to the area is at specific times, and especially after the Paris attacks and so on, it was a quite large amount of police and security over there. So, but even if it's secure, it's not always possible to protect from incidents like this.
Right.
And Emanuel, before we let you go, a few weeks back, President Trump made comments about Sweden, and he alluded to the fact that there were issues in Sweden due to immigration policies. I want to get from you what people in Sweden thought of the president's comments. We know that the Embassy of Sweden in the United States tweeted out to the president that they were looking forward to informing the U.S. administration about Swedish immigration and integration policies and how people who come from other countries do in Sweden. I want to get your take on what the president said and if he was right about that or if he was completely wrong.
I think Donald Trump was completely wrong at this saying, because people don't really relate this kind of incident to the migration. Because refugees that come to Sweden are mostly located in places that are very far away and outside of Stockholm and so on. And so there's I can't really see a strong connection between the refugees and this kind of accident. I would say that this could happen in any major city in Europe, actually.
And yeah, that's, I think, the feeling that was sort of made clear by the Swedish embassy and the Swedish government in general, that they don't seem to take what the immigration policies when it comes especially to refugees and attacks like this, which in many cases are lone wolf attacks. That is very, very difficult to protect against, as we've seen in the UK, as we've seen in Nice, in France. And so that's just wanted to get a perspective from Sweden and from a Swedish citizen on your thoughts about that. And so, and we understand, Emanuel, that you are still right now locked down in your place of business where this is all going down.
Exactly. I'm still locked down, and we can't leave the office. And I also want to add a comment that, like, if you look at Norway and Oslo, we had a terrible attack a few years ago that was not even related to migration at all, when the Breivik attack that took a lot of lives. So I think it's mostly a major problem associated with lone wolves, psychiatric illness, and so on.
All right. Emanuel Alvarez, witness right there in the center of Stockholm. He is still under lockdown. I guess that would mean that a lot of other people are also being held in place while police try to figure out exactly what is going on.